I will re-emphasize some of the points here that you have already heard about, what Mark briefly talked about. Alomum, the aloe that is in Alomum comes from Latin America. And it's important to mention it because there's aloe coming from various parts of the world. And generally speaking, it is recognized that aloe coming from Latin America is a greater quality of aloe, the way that it's grown, but also the way that it's processed, the way that it's managed through the whole processing up to the final product. So, what is interesting with aloe here and Alomum, as Mark also mentioned before, can you just move the slides here to the 6,000 years? So, it's a product, aloe, that has been around for more than 6,000 years. So, when I say more than 6,000 years, it's simply that written mention of the use of aloe goes back as far as 6,000 years ago. Now, if you think about it, this is about the time when written language appeared in our history. So it's probably fair to say that we're talking about a product, aloe, that has been used for more than 6,000 years. This is just when we started to see written records of the use of aloe. In these ancient writings, the use was mostly a topical use. So for burns, for cuts, for any kind of skin conditions, but over the centuries also has developed the oral intake, so internal intake of aloe, which gives, if not the same kind of benefits. We're talking here about healing or repair of a mucosa or the skin of a tissue, and you get the same thing here in the gut. So we will come back to that in a few minutes, but the benefits of aloe is essentially into helping these surfaces to repair. So next slide. Again, we're going back into the same kind of things. It's important to reemphasize it. What Mark has already mentioned. It is 95% pure aloe. What we mean here is not that the aloe that we have in Alomum is only 95% pure and there's some 5% impurity. This is not what it means. The aloe is pure 100% aloe gel that is then liquefied and blended with some lemon juice to preserve freshness and honey to give it a nice taste. So it's essentially purely 100% aloe, lemon juice, and honey. So it's a very, very, very natural product. You can't get more natural than this. So next slide. And it is important. You've heard about it. I'm sure you will hear more about it. It's a product that comes into a packaging that is earth friendly. Not only nice looking, not only practical, but earth friendly, which is obviously increasingly more and more important to have packaging here that is earth friendly. So let's get now into the core of what I would like to talk about in terms of Alomum. Next slide. The health benefits of Alomum. Before going into the benefits themselves, I think that it is important to give a little bit of history on the research that has been done with aloe. In the 1970s, early 1980s, there was a real interest for labs and pharmaceutical companies to start to develop herbal extracts and to position these herbal extract to demonstrate these herbal extract with some form of health benefits. There was a clear momentum that was developing in the population mainstream, which is an increasing recognition of the benefits for health of various types of natural product and plant extract. And this momentum was growing to a point where many pharmaceutical companies started to think we need to move into this segment, if you want, of using natural products. And so they started to study a number of natural products, not that many, and one of them was aloe. So some companies have invested hundreds of millions of dollars in researching the benefits of aloe, in positioning aloe for its overall health benefits. Some of the key benefits that have been documented at that time are benefits on the digestive system. So really, the product was positioned or developed around its benefits to the digestive system. We'll come back to that in just a minute. But as all of this research was developing, it slowly became clear that on the marketplace, the momentum was developing both from I would say, market development, but also from a regulatory development. It was clear that the industry, at least in the US, was developing into a market that was more based on dietary supplements with different kinds of regulations. And it sort of became clear that to develop aloe as a product that would be presented like within the model of pharmaceutical product, this was not going to work. So they basically, these companies abandoned these projects. But the people within these companies that were developing all these projects basically pivoted with it and started to develop aloe for, as we know it today, as a dietary supplement. And this is when aloe started to appear more massively on the marketplace. So I'm saying this because as we go into these benefits and we discuss them, I just wanted to put this context here to realize that there is a lot of research on aloe. There's a lot of money that has been spent by big companies, big corporations to document the benefits of aloe on health. And all of this is in the scientific literature. So it allows us to really go and look for that literature and see everything that has been done on aloe. And a lot has been done. So if we go now into the benefits, so we talked about the digestive system. One of the main benefits of aloe, just come back please to the previous slide where we were. So the benefits of aloe, thank you. The benefits of aloe, as I mentioned before, on the digestive system. This is something that is oftentimes, I would say, not talked enough or not recognized enough. Leaky gut, intestinal permeability. It is something that is extremely prevalent in the world. We all have it to some degree, and it's associated to a large extent with stress, but also with what we are exposed to through our diet, water, and everything that we consume, food coloring, preservatives, and just normal food. Dairy, for example, is going to have a significant impact on intestinal permeability. And then in turn, when you have intestinal permeability, we need to understand that this intestinal layer, this intestinal mucosa, the wall that is between what's in your gut and what's in your blood, is extremely fine and extremely fragile. It is designed to allow the passage of very specific molecules, basically the nutrients that you have in your diet that you want to have in your blood so that your body can use them, and the rest that is in your digestive system that needs to be eliminated, which is for the purpose of your body from a physiological standpoint, would be considered a toxin. They're not necessarily toxins in the way that we understand toxins, but for your body they are. So they need to stay within the digestive tract. So the health and the integrity of this intestinal layer is paramount for your health. This is where aloe plays an important role. Just like it does, it brings these benefits to your skin, it will bring these kinds of reparative benefits to this intestinal mucosa. It is one of the most documented benefits of aloe, the benefits on the digestive system. Now, when we talk about the integrity of this intestinal mucosa, then we can also talk about the proper absorption of nutrients. There's a good amount of research showing that if, for example, you give an individual on a day vitamins like those that have been more documented within this scope of research is vitamin E, vitamin C, vitamin B12. So you give individuals these vitamins and then you quantify how much of them you end up in the blood, what is the blood concentration of these vitamins a few hours after consumption, and then you repeat the same thing on a day where these individuals will take a shot of aloe, just like what we're talking about here, 30 to 60 milliliter, 1 or 2 ounces, and you see an increase in the blood concentration of vitamin B, B12, C, and E. So generally speaking, it enhances the absorption of vitamins. Now, the studies specifically talk about these vitamins, but we can, how could I say? Vitamin B12 does have a unique way of being absorbed, but not vitamin E, not vitamin C. So if we see these benefits on vitamin C and vitamin E, it's probably a fair assumption to just say we have improved the ability of the intestinal mucosa to do what it really normally does, which is to select what needs to go through and get into the blood. So we can probably say it helps in a more general way absorption of nutrients. Another one of its great benefits is on the immune system. The main component of aloe, aside from water, so because aloe is a lot of water, it looks like a gel, but it's one of these wonders of nature. These polysaccharides are organized in such a way in that gel that at the end of the day, it is more than 99% water. So once you remove the water, what you're left in the dry weight of aloe is essentially a lot of polysaccharide. It's the main component. Of these polysaccharides, the main polysaccharide, which is complex sugar, is acemannans. Now, acemannans have been documented to have a lot of benefits on health, but the main one is its effect on the immune system. It will be too complex to go into the details of the immune system, but let's just say, because oftentimes when we talk immune system, we think cells that will go in the body, find cells that have been either infected with a virus or bacteria and basically kill them. That's what the immune system does. But in the second layer, if you want, of details of how the immune system works, is that these immune cells secrete all kinds of compounds, generally speaking, referred to as cytokines. Cyto means cells, kines means kinetics, so movement. So they coordinate the movement and the activity of cells. So they will bring in other immune cells, they will activate immune cells. Once these immune cells have done their job, they will suppress immune cells. One of the key effect of immune cells, it's the greatest generator of oxidative stress in your body, of inflammation also in your body. So a lot of these polysaccharides will play their role in terms of allowing and helping immune cells to secrete less of those inflammatory cytokines, the cytokines that generate oxidation by stimulating immune cells, and increase the secretion of cytokines that act as anti-inflammatory cytokines. So in a generally speaking way, these polysaccharides tend to modulate and calm down the immune system, make it ready to react when you need to have an immune response, but keep that immune response within, I would say, a healthy range. So there are other benefits of aloe. It is a strong antioxidant. What I mean is that when you consume aloe, you can see that the blood antioxidant capacity has been increased. So in that way, it plays a little bit of role like reserve. So a good product to be taken with reserve and other products. We'll come back to that in a second. So if we go to the next slide, it is a daily product. It is something that you need to take every day. Twice a day would be the optimal way of taking Alomum, in the morning, in the evening. And again, I cannot emphasize this more. It's to me, one of these foundational products. Give that to anybody. Propose that people use it, and they will see some level of benefits in their body simply because of this massive link between poor intestinal permeability and all kinds of issues that are not disease. They're not big problems, but they're those small problems that in your life can be significant, like fatigue and poor ability to concentrate. There are a lot of consequences. Look at this on the web. You will see the consequence of poor intestinal permeability and leaky gut. So next slide. Alomum is a perfect product to complement and to work with the YES system because, again, it's a foundational product. By restoring a proper intestinal lining, then you enhance the absorption of all these key ingredients that normally should get into the blood, which is essentially the ingredients that we have in all the other products. So it is a great complement to the whole line of the YES system. Just add Alomum to anything else that you do right now, and you will enhance the benefits that you already have from these products. You will find some aloe in reserve. It's important to understand that you don't have the amount that you have in Alomum. It is not the active compound really in reserve. You take reserve for its polyphenols, is resveratrol, so you can couple both and you will get greater benefits. Same thing with RevitaBlue. RevitaBlue does contain aloe, but it's a different kind of aloe. We talked about before of these acemannans that have specific effect on immune cells. Well, these acemannans are huge molecules. There are ways of breaking these molecules into smaller molecules and then specifically isolate polysaccharide of specific molecular length and molecular sizes, and then look at specific biological activity of these acemannans. So when we work that way, we were able to isolate specific acemannans of specific molecular weight that have a specific effect on stem cell mobilization. This is the aloe that we have in RevitaBlue. So they're different, but they really work together, so they complement. So my only advice here is add Alomums to everything else that you do right now, that you use into the Jeunesse YES system, and see the benefits that you can get. That's it. Back to you, Rankin.
Thank you so much, Christian. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but just stick around and just watch this, Christian, because I'm about to do something a little special here, and I'm all about giving things away, so how about this? A meet and greet with Christian Drapeau.